Hello, my name's Antonio and welcome to the Voice of the Voiceless. On today's show we'll be talking all about housing, an issue that affects almost all young people. We're here in the City of London where prices are high and getting higher. This is good for property owners but not so good for young people who are trying to rent and get up on the housing ladder. We're going to be talking to Daniel Cooper, the Vice President of the University of London Student Union, also known as ULU, to find out how his union is trying to protect students from high rents and poor living conditions. Hi Daniel, thank you for joining us here today and taking time out of your busy schedule. Right, so how bad is the housing situation for students and young people here in London?
So undoubtedly there's a very real and present housing crisis in the city. The quality of housing is poor and the cost is extortionate. 83% of us saw a rise in our rents last year. There's been a 26% increase in homelessness. And most of us have negligent landlords that evade the law, mistreat us and harass us as tenants and rent substandard accommodation. And I think students are often at the sharp end, young people are often at the sharp end of the housing crisis. We're on low incomes, a lot of us are new to the city. The loans that we receive as students don't cover the amounts that we have to pay often for poor housing. There's no basic representation for tenants, for young people in their house, if they have houses, if they have any problems, who do they go to? There is no basic representation. And there's no clarity around our rights as well.
Okay, so who would you blame for this situation then?
There's probably two groups of people, and they both work together as well. You firstly got landlords who charge us enormous amounts of money for crappy housing that mistreat us, and when we've got a problem, they don't fix our shower, they don't give us our deposit back. So certainly landlords. But this again is ultimately the responsibility of government. And successive governments have failed to introduce regulation to the housing market that's meant that landlords can abuse us, meant that they can charge us astronomical sums for our rent.
Right, so ULU has got a campaign to combat this problem. So can you tell us a little bit more about that and what the Tenants Union actually is?
The Tenants Union, I think the comparison works to a trade union. So in your workplace you've got some issues, health and safety isn't good, they're not paying you right, so you use the trade union to take those issues on to your boss. Identical with a tenants union. You live in a house, your landlord is mistreating you, not doing the right, doing things
so if something's
properly.
Not working, they'll
exactly, and that the union would step in and act on your behalf and to take those issues onto your landlord.
Right, so it takes them under stress, the confrontation away from the student or the young person, and let the union sort of defend them.
Yeah, I mean, we'd certainly want actual students and young people to take that action on.
Yeah.
This would never be a case of kind of unions separately taking those issues on. Okay. We'd want actual people that live in their homes to take action on their own behalves. We've got a ton of materials that outline what our rights are. I think when I was and I still am a tenant in a house, when my landlord tells me that this is how things should be, I've got no idea whether that's actually the case. So if there is some information about what your rights are, what you can do, and then a means of representation and dealing with those things, it could be very, very powerful.
Okay, so what can people do to get involved?
They can firstly come to some of the organising meetings we're having here at ULU. They should start campaigns in their own university, own college, in their own communities about what are pretty common issues. In the new term, from about September time, we're going to be holding lots of big public meetings to get more people involved. So I'd say come along to those, but also raise it in your own community.
Brilliant. Well, cool. Wish you the best of luck with it all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today.
Great, cheers.
Now, I don't know about you, but I found talking to Daniel incredibly insightful. Now, if you have any other issues affecting you and you'd like them covered on the show, then you can contact our producer on the email address found at the bottom of the screen. Don't forget to tune in next week for another Voice of the Voiceless with me, Antonio.